Thank you. Stop, please. Sit down, stop. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Today I'm joined once again by Poopy.
I'm the only guest here.
You're the only guest here at all.
Do I thank you for having me?
Thank you for having me.
I run this show.
Well, thank you for being here.
Without my popularity, this show would be nothing.
I think it already is nothing, to be honest. Anywho, today we're talking about Turning Red, the Disney Pixar movie.
Before we start talking about it, I need to clarify that I hate teenage girls between the ages of 13 and 25. And those are the things that age group likes.
So you're saying you hate absolutely everything to do with teenage girls, which is this movie?
Yeah, okay, it was the core of this movie, yes. But, like, can you name one good thing that came out of teenage girls except teenage pregnancy? I think a big part of womanhood is cutting out your teenage years from your current self.
I think that's a rather human thing, is trying to distance yourself from your teenage being.
I wouldn't say I completely disliked myself as a teenager.
If you met yourself as a teenager now, what would happen?
I don't know, we'd probably like share diseases and stuff. I probably had different germs back then.
I don't think I would get along with my younger self.
I don't hate my teenage self. I'm just saying I've done nothing in my teenage years. Sometimes I drew naked people. And it's not like I drew naked people like how artsy people draw naked people. I just wanted to freak out my art teacher, and she wanted to send me to the school psychologist.
When I first drew naked people in the artsy way, when I first went to life drawing, it like blew my mind. I remember going to this life drawing session and it being, this is purely like academic. I'm just working out where muscles go right now.
The first life drawing I did was in university, and I tried so hard not to giggle. I just got the giggles when the lady took off her robe, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not supposed to laugh. I'm not supposed to laugh. It was like a naked lady. Anyways, movies.
So Turning Red is about teenage girls.
Boo.
One teenage girl in particular.
Yuck.
Mei Ling Lee.
Her mom's hot.
So what were your thoughts on the movie, Poopy?
I thought the movie was good.
So I absolutely adore this movie. Like, I could genuinely rewatch this movie again and again and again. I love the characters. I love the story. I adore the aesthetic. I've genuinely had the score and the soundtrack just up on my Spotify multiple times. I think the animation is absolutely stellar. It's not completely throwing out the old Pixar style, but it is changing up a lot about it.
I thought most of the characters were mediocre. I quite liked the mom. She was hot. The aunties, because they were hot. I don't know, it's a bit hard to really find teenage girls likable. Me and all of the internet has a hard time accepting teenage girls.
I think the world does. There is this general feeling that teenage girls and what teenage girls like especially is just not good.
I think that's because teenage girls get too into it, and that's the beauty of being a teenage girl.
I would say the same about teenage boys get too into what they like, but the people hate what teenage boys like.
Yeah, but you know, grown men also do that. Well, it's very rare to see a grown woman go like, oh my god, it's Jim and One Direction, and oh my god, vampires are so hot.
I have definitely met 24-year-old women who are into K-pop.
I'm not talking about K-pop in general, it's just the shiny boy bands. It's always been shiny boy bands, vampires, and bracelets. There's something very teenage about bracelets.
This movie isn't perfect though. There are some things where you are left thinking about the narrative consistency, such as why Mei Ling's family hate the pandas so much.
I was wondering about that too. Maybe that's a metaphor for them hating themselves.
I think it is almost what you're saying about hating teenage girls.
Wow, I've made such a breakthrough.
Like, the only perceivable bad things at the beginning were more to do with just how May was feeling.
I think that's where the kitten box comes in play. I'm generally a very calm, very zen person. But if I see a box of kittens, I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna turn into a 14-foot panda and destroy a bunch of boy bands.
Thing is, even as I'm saying this, I'm realizing that perhaps the whole idea of sealing the panda is about sealing your emotions and not feeling anything.
Oh, I completely disagree with that. Her mother is such an emotional person. Her emotions are 100% not sealed.
But they're the right emotions.
What do you mean the right emotions? most of her emotions are anger.
It's no bi-curious emotions.
Let's talk about that main relationship in the movie of Mei Mei and her mom.
And what we most disagree on.
My controversial opinion here is that it's essentially doing what Encanto tried to do, but doing it well.
Oh, I said it. No one attack me, please.
Encanto is just too busy as a film. There's too many characters for you to really feel how Abuela's pressure works. Because you've also got the drama between the sisters and how Bruno and all this works, and it's all great, but it's not. In Turning Red, you just get rid of all the clutter. It's perfectly focused. Mei Mei, her mum. You can essentially see how Mei Mei goes through the same emotional journey as Louisa, Bruno, and Mirabel, all in one movie, and to be honest, it just works so much better. Big up Mei Mei.
Little Mei Mei is toxic.
Go for it, tell me why.
I understand that her mom is like a helicopter parent, but I don't think Mei Ling handled it that well. Her whole outbursts and being secretive. I understand that she's a kid, but at some point she was actually just mean to her mom.
Gosh, that's so interesting that you would almost see those scenes in that light. How do you view the not Quickie Mart, what's the mart called?
Daisy.
How do you view the Quickie Mart scene?
Daisy.
How do you view the Daisy Mart scene?
I still think the mom was just worried for the daughter.
Almost certainly not.
Going after a 17-year-old. That boy was 17.
What did he do?
Nothing, but I wouldn't let my daughter have a crush on a 17-year-old.
Oh my goodness, you cannot say that. Yes, most certainly you can let your daughter have a crush on anyone.
A 17-year-old.
Oh my word, nothing was going to come of it. If they started dating, that is so different. Are you saying you never had a crush on an older person when you were younger?
Yeah, but like 40-year-old.
What about a crush on a cartoon? What if your child had a crush on a cartoon? Are you going to be like, yeah, we're never watching cartoons again?
That's fine.
That's the same thing.
There's something wrong about a 14-year-old girl liking the 17-year-old boy that, works in a store that you shop at.
The way she dealt with that, of taking her into that situation,
It's the mother is so wrong in that situation.
cannot believe you're on her side in that.
I think she was just worried about her daughter.
That's, yeah, definitely. That's like the emotion that drives the scene. But that is such the wrong decision to make.
She didn't know that they weren't dating.
Then you ask Mei Ling. You do not insert yourself into the situation without even getting the context.
What was her first thing when she found out about the bear hustling? She blamed her friends.
But this is what I'm saying. That's her toxic behavior. It's almost disrespectful to Mei Ling.
She did ask her. She said, right, Mei Ling? Not Mei Ling. Mei Mei. Little Mei Mei.
Little Mei Mei.
What she calls her. And she went to that school. She fought the security at the school.
Do you see that as a good thing?
She was so worried. Her daughter forgot her pads.
Maybe this is like my British sensibility speaking to me.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Doing things in public.
Oh no, yeah. Now I completely get it. Parents are much more overprotective here.
In Bulgaria?
Yes.
But now kind of what I'm hearing is almost this overprotectiveness from you is also a cultural thing. And that means you're excusing it somehow?
Mother knows best.
Another fantastic movie which touches on that toxic relationship. Are you on the side of Mother Gothel?
She isn't a real mother. She's just using a poor child. I'm not saying the mom's perfect, but I'm saying she's a good parent and the daughter, as most teenage daughters, aren't very good daughters.
I disagree.
Using this deity that's been passed on to the women in your family for generations for money to go to I loved all the names the mom called that boy band Four Tower.
Four Town?
Four Tower. What was one of them glittery delinquents?
Yes.
Yeah, she hustled this spiritual being for money.
Thing is, the mum even didn't take issue with that. That would actually be quite interesting if there was the respect for the being, for the panda spirit. But it was more so that she was just the immature thing.
Well, of course she would take issue with that more so, because that directly harms the child, not the ancestors. She will put Mei Mei first, always.
She's not, though. She's putting her expectation of Mei Mei first. She's putting her idealistic view of Mei Mei first, not the actual person. Mei Ling.
What do you think is the mom's ideal image of Mei then?
Obviously, it's what she is at the beginning. It's that straight A student who goes to school, gets perfect grades, comes back and helps her with the temple. Her view of Mei Ling is almost what she was, not what she is.
Yeah, I think you think the mom is way more demanding and strict than she really is, because we have those scenes where May is starting to go and hustle the panda, and she's lying about going to the mathletes while her mom is alone at the temple. But it's not like, oh no, you cannot go to the mathletes, you have to be in the temple, you have to help me. She lets her go.
Just because her mother is accepting of some things, does that mean she's now absolved of being non-accepting of other parts of Mei-Ling's
Her
life?
mother, see, she knows the actual danger of the panda, and she's probably way more scared of it because of what she did when she had her panda, and her panda being huge.
But then that's projecting. She's then projecting her own fears onto her daughter and restricting her because of it.
This is a cartoon.
No, it's tackling these themes.
Okay.
This is why I love this movie. This relationship between Mei and her mother is deep. And you're right, there is that fear within the mother of she hurt her mother. That's why I love it. I think it's great.
I don't think she's a bad mother at all.
But at the same time, you're then saying the opposite. You're saying Mei is the villain because she chooses to do things which go against her.
She's not, she's just annoying. I feel comfortable in my parents' expectations.
And you do have a very close and intense relationship with your mother.
I love my mommy.
You do, and that's an understatement. I think adore is a closer word. Revere.
My mommy. You're jealous.
The aesthetic in this movie is immaculate.
Yeah.
The film is set in 2002, and I think it gets pretty much damn well everything perfect.
I do like the aesthetic.
This is a point we can agree on.
The whole movie looks like bubblegum.
Yes, the whole movie has that kind of sparkly, very
Round.
colourful, rounded style.
This is the part of May that I like. She really looks like a super believable 14-year-old girl. She has the thick, solid tights. She has the denim skirt on top, little shirt with a cute little collar on it, and an ugly cardigan. And that's really what your mom would make you wear. Well, I wasn't a teenager in 2000s, but I mean, my country's a bit far behind, so you can say that I was. That's what you wore. That's what your mama gave you to wear, and that's what you wore. Also, the Tamagotchi, the scribbles on her clarinet case, the stickers as well. I wear glasses, and those are like your baby frames. Those are the frames that you wear when you just don't really care.
The headphones she has as well, which they were so uncomfortable. I think she's listening to a Discman in the beginning when she's listening to Four Town.
Is Four Town Backstreet Boys?
Yes. Well, it's Backstreet Boys or NSYNC. It's that kind of vibe.
I had a beach towel with the Backstreet Boys.
Did you?
My granny gave it to me.
Scandalous.
Yeah, her design was perfect, but I have, some beef with the other girls' outfits. They were dressed too well for teenagers in the 2000s. They had their super well coordinated outfits that were like in accordance with their personality.
I love their outfits.
Me too, but like, you didn't see kids like that.
It's too good.
That's like what artsy college chicks dress like. Oh my god, that's what artsy college chicks dress like. You got the pink lesbian, you got the non-pink lesbian, and you have the yellow lesbian. I'm not saying all the artsy college girls are lesbians, but those three are.
One of my favorite things about that friendship group is how complementary the colors are to each other. You got green and red, which is, if you look on the color wheel, those are the two complementary ones. And then you got yellow and purple, which...
Yeah.
And I love how they're all, like, even just by their colors, these guys are friends.
Are they really?
Yes.
Their friendship will break in 2 years.
Don't say that.
It's true.
No, I am still friends with a friend of mine from year 4.
I'm not friends with any girls from that age.
Character animation in this movie is beyond fantastic. I know Pixar, this is what they're good at, but they knock it out of the park with this movie.
Yeah, I know you love this shit. I'm just going to say the one character I really love, and that's Abby, and that's her whole... She did not stop jittering for a second and being too aggressive with everything.
We actually have our resident animation professional in studio today. Let's cut over to them.
It's me. I'm different.
No, you fool, it is I, Professor Mation, but you can call me Annie. I've been brought here today to study some of the wonderful animation from Pixar's Turning Red. Is that right? That's the one, yes? Now, to really get into these scenes, we should familiarize ourselves with the 12 principles of animation, which are obviously... These are all really important, so you can't forget a single one. Quick, memorize them all. I love a lot of these scenes where Mei's model is pushed to its absolute limits to really convey her emotion. For example, the under the bed scene. Making a facial expression like this work takes quite a bit of effort because you don't want it to look too garish or unrealistic. And then, as she continues to draw, all the features she has are accentuated as shown here, 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 and here. Though immediately preceding this, we have some really nice moments that subtly hint towards her feelings. I love this absent-minded movement of the jaw she has, her steadfast eyes as she walks the room, only darting to her notebook a couple of times, how she turns around, puts the notebook down and picks it back up. You can really tell she's at war with herself in this moment. Though animation is not only used to show personal feeling, but sometimes a relationship. In both of these scenes, the mother and the grandmother respectively are talking about sensitive topics to do with the panda. You see how the mother is fiddling with her necklace, which is actually the seal that keeps her panda at bay. This on its own is a lovely piece of animation, but we see later that the grandma does a similar thing. Her hand absent-mindedly strokes her scar when talking about her and her daughter's relationship. A relationship which fell apart many years ago during an altercation that left the grandma with said scar. Like, that's just such a nice touch. Whoever did that, make yourself known, because I just want to give you a big old kiss. I won't, but it's, the sentiment is there. The film also tries different things with the animation, like smear frames and 2D supplements. It's just all so good, but I've run out of time, so okay, bye.
Wow, what an informative and needlessly long segment.
Thank you, Professor Animation.
I got so bored I wasn't even there for it. I hate music.
Well, touch in on why you hate the music in this movie then.
No, I don't hate the music in this movie in particular. I just hate music in general.
That's such a lie. You listen to music all the time.
I just pretend to listen to it to feel normal.
It's such a false. You're false.
There's only one music. Johnny, what the fuck? You got a big oily butt.
So the score is done by Ludwig Göransson, who, in my mind, is one of the absolute best composers who's making music right now. Can you guess where I first heard of him? It's my favorite show.
It's your favorite show, Community?
He did the score for Community.
Oh my god!
And here's his journey. His journey's wild. So he did the score for Community, and then he started working with Troy from Community, Childish Gambino. So he's the producer for Childish Gambino.
Okay, that's actually interesting.
He then went on to do the Black Panther movie. He then did The Mandalorian, and now he's done this film. He does a little bit of his Ludwig Göransson things, like there's like 808s in there, which it's like, okay, you don't need an 808, but all right. Phineas, as in Billie Eilish's producer and brother, did the music for the boy band. Four Town. Billie Eilish is credited as writing some of it. I just love all the production on the Four Town songs. I think they sound so good. It's just so good.
Didn't they have like only 2 songs? Town.
They've got 3 in the movie, but they're all absolutely fantastic. I will die on that hill.
Tummy doesn't make my tummy feel good.
No, they don't turn my tummy the way you do.
They don't turn my tummy the way you do. I think Four Town are a good band that I would let my teenage daughter read.
Look, so now you're just going back on your point again.
Am I projecting?
But what about the gyrations?
Okay, that's
What about them being glittery delinquents?
If they weren't, I know my teenage daughter wouldn't be into them.
You don't know that?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna raise one of the emo ones.
I want to very quickly tell you about some of the critical reactions to this movie. And this is nuts, and I can't wrap my head around it. A guy who is complaining that 9/11 isn't talked about more. I still don't know if this is a troll. This could be a troll. 9/11 was such a huge thing in that time. How come it's never mentioned in the movie? So unrealistic.
Isn't the movie set in Canada?
Well, his point was 9/11 affected the whole world.
But
how absurd is that?
That movie.
I know. How does your brain even get to that point?
What did they want a scene of like, oh boy, it's such a terrible thing that happened. Anyways, Four Town is coming to town.
Never mind. I'm on that team now. Final thoughts on the movie.
Where do you put the mom? on the hotness scale from 1 to hot mom?
Probably
Yummy mummy.
Yummy Mummy, yeah.
Yeah. Correct.
It's true, the mum is very attractive.
Yeah, she is.
What would you rate the movie out of 10?
I would give the movie a 6. You know what? A 7.
Really?
No, 6.5. Because I really liked the giant panda moment. That really took me off guard. I really liked the dad. Again, really liked the mom. I really liked, what was his name? The little dude's name? Trey?
Oh, Tyler?
Tyler.
I love Tyler.
Trey's the one that has a basketball game tomorrow. I like how immediately they accepted him into the friend group.
It's a lovely moment.
It kind of is, and it's also very realistic because that's how things work.
Especially when you're that age.
Yeah, when you're that age. Ooh, I like this band too. We should be besties and have our friendship fall apart after 2 years.
I think I would give it 1,000,000 red pandas out of 6.
That's what I gave it. A 6.
That's crazy. Well, no, because I gave it 1,000,000 out of 6.
Yeah, but I gave it a 6.
Okay, time's up. Poopy, get off set immediately. I'm so sick and tired of you always just saying things all the time. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Poopy's Views Are Bad and Mine Are Good.
Okay, if you put that in, I'm gonna quit and never record with you again.